very sad day we have today.
Isn't it always a sad day
Do
for you?
do you guys feel the sadness?
Isn't it always a sad
Kenny?
season for you?
No, not this. It's just we gotta wait like 6 months, man. We have 6 months until football season. The Super Bowl is fantastic.
I was referring to the Colts.
It's the culmination, but now we have to wait. Now,
well, I mean, we kind of got the XFL and the USFL put together. I mean, hey, at least something's coming up.
No, it's not the same. It doesn't.
I figured. I just thought it was funny. There's still football though.
Well, there's hockey.
There is hockey. Yeah. Yes, hockey, basketball. We'll be watching, but it's a sad day.
Well, I was referring to the Colts. That's what I was referring to.
Yes, Kenny. It's always sad with the Colts since 2006. It's been what is that? 18. My math's correct. Sad years. It's fine. More than half my life, but I've seen one. So James has seen 2. Ken and John. Well, no.
I mean, how technical are we getting here?
Johnny's like, I had my binky in my bottle and I saw.
Mom and Dad are cleaning my freaking diaper. Here we go.
Next year.
Wet wipes.
Jets.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah, how about that? What's his name? Who actually caught the Super Bowl touchdown to win the game? Started the season as a Jet.
He did.
Yes, he did. Hardman.
Yeah.
With all the promise in the world in New York.
Hey,
he got out.
I was thinking, when that happens to you, imagine the ups and downs from a season perspective, from his point of view, right? Start the season with a team. I don't know how early in the season he got traded, but that's a difficult thing to go through in mid-season. Like, it's not easy, and then come out and literally win the Super Bowl with the game-winning catch. It's pretty awesome, for him. So, props to him, because that's obviously his season was up and down, and that's a big win for him. So, probably at a high right now.
I mean, to go from thinking he was going to get the ball thrown to him from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes is a pretty decent trade-off.
Yeah, he thought he was going to get the ball probably for a whole 9 seconds when the season started.
Yeah.
And that was that. But
what's interesting too is he last year ended with the Chiefs. Like, he's played for the Chiefs before. Yeah. He left, went to New York, and then he got to come back to a familiar situation as well. So that probably allowed him to ramp up during the season, because he'd been in that system for so many years. He already had built some chemistry with Mahomes. But yeah, definitely pretty cool.
That's just a lot of inter-season ups and downs, moving around, like not really sure how you're going to play. It's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with in a season. It's one thing to go through that off season and then know where you land and then start your season with the team and then run through the season with the team. But to have that shakiness it could definitely damper performance on a lot of athletes, because there's just a lot of unknown, a lot of change and things like that. But clearly he came out on top. I mean, to have that game-winning catch is pretty awesome. So good for him.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, to give a little context, obviously the reason why we're on this virtual recording is to talk about, what was on Sunday, the Super Bowl. So pretty interesting game. I thought it was a fairly good game. Chiefs overcoming a 10-point deficit to become the first back-to-back Super Bowl champs in, 2 decades, they said?
20 years, yeah.
Since 2004.
And go to Las Vegas, which most of you know how we feel about Las Vegas. Thought it was a good game overall. What you guys think?
A little slow to start. Like, that first half was just slow.
I think it was just old school football. Yeah, big defensive games. A lot of people flying around. but not too much spectacle with the throws and such.
Yeah, they didn't really.
I was sweating some bets. I mean, we were expecting a shootout. Yes, 2 top 5 defenses, but I know I was not alone. There was a lot of bets placed on touchdowns, offensive performance that did not come through. Very nerve-wracking, especially, first half 10-3.
Yeah.
Kind of a snooze to a degree, but it picked up quick in the second half. So, yeah, I agree, Johnny. Great game overall. Great Super Bowl. And, Mahomes, man. Chiefs back-to-back.
Does it again.
And Kelsey is returning. He called it. They're going for the three-peat. Kelsey will be back. I know there were some questions there about if he was going to ride off the sunset, retire or not. So that'll be fun to see him.
Going for the three-peat.
He's got to fight for the right to party. And what better place to do it in Vegas, right?
They're still partying.
Oh, yeah.
They're still partying right now.
Yeah.
About 4 a.m.
Yeah.
No, they're still going crazy.
They're up for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think that. I think that he's a great athlete. He's a super talented dude, but there's just something about his sportsmanship that just is not good. I'm all for having, a lot of emotion for something and to be emotionally invested into something, but I know that at any level, if I ever threw my helmet across the fucking field or had a temper tantrum on the sideline.
Like Tom Brady.
Athletes, yeah, but Tom Brady did it a little bit, but he takes it to a whole new level. It's like to go up in your coach's face. It's just a little bit much, I think that there's a level of that is just not a good look for yourself, for your team, and as a role model for a lot of kids. I don't think that's a really good way to kind of represent yourself, and. I think he's still a great athlete, but I think he should chill out a little bit, in my perspective.
You wouldn't call it passion and emotion, Kenny?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of passion.
Because some people call it passion and emotion, but then it happened in Philly. I'm sure Johnny was loving it when it was happening in Philly, but I think A.J. Brown put out a tweet that if that was him,
I saw that.
He would be kicked out of the league. So it's very interesting, the different perspectives, because on one side you hear, he's very passionate, you love to see it, but then there's a lot of people that have said exactly what you said about, he's crossing the line on more than one occasion. So something to consider for sure.
Yeah, I would be curious.
I'm all for the passion. The passion is great, but it's just there's a lot of other ways to take that passion and let it drive you forward. It's not to get in your coach's face or to be an asshole to your teammates. It's not.
Yeah, it's a very fair point.
What were you going to say, Johnny?
Oh, no, I was just going to go off of what Ryan said with the whole A.J. Brown. It's interesting because if it was a different player, who knows what the recipe and what the media would be saying right now. And then even if the Chiefs would have lost, I wonder how much, that's actually not shattered from them winning. So it's definitely interesting, especially when you see other players in the league and elsewhere saying something out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that because they won, it'll be played down a lot more now.
It's tough. It's tough when you're in the heat of battle like that. Emotions do run a little high and usually a little hot. So it's tough to be able to take what you're saying, Kenny, and realize I should put this passion somewhere else, especially when frustrations are high and you're losing, because he was losing. And I've seen plenty of players of my years of playing get head coaches' faces or coordinators. It doesn't matter. I've seen it. I know you guys have seen it too. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. But he does have a special relationship with Andy Reid, so maybe that could be playing into it. Sometimes, like, he crossed the line thinking he's so comfortable that he can get in his face like that, almost probably thinking that they're equals. But I mean, that's your head coach. Like, it wasn't a good look for sure. But it's tough in the heat of battle. It really, especially on the biggest stage. Like, he wanted the fucking ball.
Yeah, we've all been there, though. We've all been in a situation.
Not the biggest stage.
Not the biggest stage, but here's my thing, right? If you're on the biggest stage, all that means is that you've gotten in more reps to figure it the fuck out. to figure out how to guide your emotion, to figure out how to guide your passion into a way that actually allows you to represent yourself, your team, and your brand in a better perspective. And I think at that level, come on. It's not, it's one thing if you're a fucking high school athlete and you're doing it, but it's a whole nother thing if you're an NFL athlete with years in the game. It's just a little bit different. And I think he has to sit back and actually look at that. Again, nothing against him. I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a great asset to any team he goes on. But I think that he just takes the wrong steps sometimes, and throwing his helmet around and getting in people's face, and I think you can see what happens to those players that let emotion guide them too much. Most of the time, their fate is that no one really wants to deal with them. At the end of the day, you've seen those players fade out of the league because their personality just fucks them, and I'd hate to see that to Kelsey. So he should figure it out.
I mean, just look what he did to Tucker a couple weeks ago.
Oh, there's James defending the kickers.
I mean, come on, man.
Here we go. He threw his little kicking tee off to the side.
Oh, he threw his helmet.
Whatever.
Tee, helmet, all that stuff.
I'm going to go back to Kenny for a second with one of Ken's lines. Debatable. And I say that because you made the comment like a high school player showing up their coach. I would argue that at that level, at the level of the NFL, that's the closest you get to equal when it's talking to a player to coach relationship. James made the point about those like having a special relationship with the coach where you can tolerate that. I can speak back to the Miami Heat a couple of years ago. They had an absolute blowout, almost brawl on their bench, and no one really batted an eye as much because it was like Heat culture, and that's just how they do things in Miami. Where if you're at the high school level and you got a 16 to 18-year-old kid telling off an adult, I think that's a little bit different. Like you would handle that a lot differently. I'm not saying that the whole Kelsey thing, I would stand for it. Like I agree, it probably crossed the line. But again, going back to the head coach player relationship, you can make an argument that it's not as bad a look as people think compared to if that was happening at a different level of football, college, high school.
Well, I think that's fair to say, but that's because we were in a locker room. Obviously we have a genuine passion and love for football, and we've been involved. So I think it's different from who's viewing it and from what side. But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, shoving a coach, like it just doesn't look the best, especially when you've got
on national television when everyone's watching,
and it's on Nickelodeon. They had the Super Bowl on Nickelodeon for the first time.
It is on Nickelodeon.
What was that, SpongeBob pushing Patrick or something? Like, oh, well, how did that go down?
Yeah.
You know what? Why didn't they pan to Taylor right after that incident happened? I would have loved to seen Taylor's reaction about her man.
But let me tell you, right after that game-winning touchdown, where did that camera go first?
Right there.
Johnny immediately pointed that out.
Hardman's mom.
Within 5 seconds, a game winner. Right to Taylor. The Taylor effect. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't go to Brittany Mahomes. It didn't go to anyone from McCole Hardman's family. It went right to the Swiftie.
I do got to point out, just for the brand, for good old James Lagama, he did mention the kickers. I thought it was really cool that both kickers, the 49ers kicker Moody ended up having the first record for the longest field goal. 55. And then, of course, Kansas City Chiefs kicker, who's a stud. What was it, 57?
Yeah, 57.
57 for Buck.
That's pretty cool.
Kick, though.
Field goals and punters showed up. They played well.
I can't tell you enough how much. So first off, just to preface, my Super Bowl Sunday was very different probably than how you guys went about your Super Bowl Sunday. I'm sure you guys were sitting on the couch and watched the actual national anthem and saw the whole thing through. I mean, maybe got up here and there, got a couple drinks or whatever, food, whatnot. No, I was cooking it up. Didn't get to watch the game. My wife, who did help me cook, and we crushed it. We made some steak tacos. They were very good. But she was on the couch before me watching this game. She loves the 49ers. I know we're both Giants fans. The reason why she loves the 49ers is because her grandmother loved the 49ers. this woman was rooting for. I mean, she was. I thought Ryan was in my house. She was standing on the couch at one point. It was hilarious. But I'll give her. I mean, look, she knows football. She gets it. And when Moody missed that extra point, she's like, "That's going to cost them the game." She called it right then and there.
Yeah.
As much as the kickers did show up, Johnny, you got to make those kicks, or else.
Did he miss it, or did it get blocked by the? Like,
it was low.
Are you
I'll be honest.
For the type of kick,
I'll be honest. I didn't watch it, and I asked her, "Did it get tipped? Did it get?" And she just kept going on and on about it being missed. So I just assumed he missed it.
So,
but
it did get blocked.
It did get touched. Okay, I figured, but I was gonna. Either way, she did call the fact that play it was going to cost them the game. That 1 point, game's completely different.
Change the trajectory of the game. Instead of Mahomes going down to kick a field goal.
Was that in the third quarter?
Yes.
And I think that's when Kansas City really started to get some momentum, was the third quarter, in my opinion.
You can't give him an opportunity.
No, can't. Well, he definitely he kicked the middle of the ball, apparently, according to good old Tony Romo. So it went a little lower. It wasn't as high as it should have been. So that's why they were able to get a hand on it. So, yeah, no. I mean, that was definitely a game-changing moment for sure. Again, the Chiefs won the game, I believe, but 49ers had multiple chances to close that thing out. And they just never could when it mattered. And unfortunately, when you play Kansas City, when you play Patrick Mahomes, he will always find a way to win. Like, he's I think you can start comparing it. Maybe those who had their hesitations, he is a Tom Brady 2.0. He wins when it matters. And that GOAT debate is definitely becoming closer and closer, at least in my eyes.
Let's pitch that over to Kenny, I believe, because I think we gotta be accountable here. Ken, you might have. I agree with everything you said, Johnny. It's definitely Brady 2.0. Whoever doesn't think that, you're crazy. But we gotta call out Ken with. We know Mahomes was having a bad season. How are you feeling now that he's Super Bowl champion about his play?
Listen, I'm 1 for 2. I said when I made that statement, I said Lamar Jackson was also overrated, and Lamar Jackson is in fact overrated. So I'm good on that one. And then Mahomes, I thought he was kind of he was struggling, in towards the end of the season and in playoffs. He just continued to find a way, and he finds a way. I don't know what else to say about that. I honestly don't think it was his best performance. No. If you look at the game as a total, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a shootout. They could score a lot of touchdowns in a game. We've seen him put points on the board, but that didn't really happen. So was it his best performance? No, but he still figures it out and gets it done. And that's just a sign of a true athlete. So, he's an athlete, and and it is what it is. And, even when he's not looking like he's at his peak, he still is a top performing athlete. So, I take the L on that one because he figured it out and got it done in a big way. Clearly, right? When you win the Super Bowl, it's not like you figured it out and got into the playoffs. Dude won the fucking Super Bowl, so more power to him. But hey, 1 for 2.
I think another GOAT debate that sparks as well is for coaches, for Andy Reid as a head coach, because that's a third Super Bowl for him. And to your point, Kenny, the evolution of the Chiefs, he's changed his strategy, right? They were a different team in 2020. They've had more offensive weapons. And like you said, this year, they looked vulnerable the entire year. They had probably their weakest offense when you go talent-wise this season, but they had their strongest defense. And they've never really had a strong defense historically. I think it's gotten a little bit better every year, but this year, the defense absolutely carried them. Mahomes even said it. And the offense just found ways to win games. So, especially if Reed comes back, they three-peat, you start to throw his name. I'm not saying he's Belichick, and there's a whole other debate about Belichick, but his stature as a top coach, if not already solidified, is on its way.
Do you think the argument for best coach needs to consider winnings, like how many times you've won, or just getting to the dance.
Absolutely.
No, there has to be a unit of measurement.
And the ability to change, just like you said, Ryan. Sorry to talk over you, Kenny, but you didn't really let me finish my point.
Oh!
It happens pretty often.
Yeah, it's early. I figured, you're not aware or awake yet, that there's other people on this. So.
Nah, I just like talking over you, James.
I know you do.
I'm just kidding. But
go ahead. You were saying metrics. Yeah.
There has to be a unit of measurement, and it just looks, the wins and losses is your unit of measurement in that perspective. A great coach doesn't lose all the games. It just doesn't happen.
But what matters more, the wins or the championships?
Wins bring in the money, dude. It's not the losses.
You could pull what the Chiefs did this year, and they didn't win like a crazy amount of games and still won the Super Bowl,
But that's because they've won so many times consecutively over the last couple of years. Look at the Chiefs 15 years ago, 10 years ago. No one watched the Chiefs. Diehard Chiefs fans, but I wasn't watching the Chiefs.
Yeah, but Andy, we were talking about coaches. Andy Reid wasn't there.
Yeah, he's saying before. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
before Andy.
I mean, yeah, you got to win. I get it. I get the point. I'm just saying that most overall wins in a coach debate. I don't know. Is it really the key metric? I guess is kind of better phrased the question.
Well,
the wins are important for sure, but you need to have at least one. Multiple Super Bowls to solidify yourself. Like, sure, it's great to have a lot of regular season wins, even a playoff win or two. But if you're missing that, you're going to get it doesn't matter what sport. Look at Charles Barkley. He was a great player, but he never won the big one. And still to this day, he's been retired 20 plus years. He gets crap for that. So you have to solidify and kind of put the cherry on top of your resume, player or coach, with winning, your league's championship. It's moved to that 100%.
What about the one quarterback? Belichick only having Brady.
Yeah, and I think what I was going to say in that respect, because that's what came to mind too, is like if you remove the variable, is it the players or is it the coach?
Mm-hmm. Well,
when you look at the Belichick Brady kind of.
Ooh, I want to hear what Johnny has to say.
I will say that's a great point from all of you. The one thing when we were talking about Andy Reid maybe potentially being the best coach, I think about before Patrick Mahomes, before the Kansas City Chiefs, before Alex Smith, when he was with, and obviously James and I got to witness Andy Reid 2 times a year because of the Cowboys and Giants. When he was with the Eagles, his biggest knock was he would always get to the playoffs, but they could never win the big one. I think they were the 4 NFC East championships. They ended up getting through one, and then obviously Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb, disaster in the playoffs. So I don't know. That's a good point. If you remove Patrick Mahomes, is Andy Reid as successful? I don't know. I like Andy Reid as a coach. I think he's a great man. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great coach, clearly. He knows what he's doing. But is the player or is the coach, especially in the NFL and in football, I think it's a little bit different, comparable to like a basketball, of course, where you can own it as an individual and one player can make the difference. So I don't know.
Or what about the power in that combination? Do you need both?
You do. I think you need both. You're not complete without the other. And you go to basketball, John, you mentioned that. You look at Greg Popovich, who's regarded as one of the best coaches in the NBA. He had Tim Duncan, right, for years. Like you always have a top player to go with that top coach, and then they make each other better. I don't know if we've ever seen it where you see a coach. You've seen coaches maybe carry a team and had them overperform to the playoffs, but you've never seen them win a championship.
Well, what wins championships?
Because you had to have that dog. The players.
I know, but what really wins championships?
Defense.
Special
teams.
I mean,
well,
yeah.
Technically.
It was a pretty big fucking play when the punt hit the freaking player's foot. And everyone's like, why the hell did he go grab that? Why did he go grab that? And then you finally saw the replay, like, oh, shit, it hit the guy's foot. Mm-hmm. He needed to go grab that. Good on him to try to get there, but not, didn't make the athletic move. Couldn't keep the ball.
That's so tough, man.
Oh, yeah.
Did the guy hear him? Because the returner is screaming, get away from it. Did he just?
Oh, I don't think it's that guy's fault at all. I think it's just circumstance. Like,
Yeah, it's just
fucking the earth moves a little bit slower and the fucking ball doesn't hit the goddamn guy's foot, you know? Like the wind in that stadium.
In the dome, the wind.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. Fucking maybe he didn't tie his shoelaces correctly, the fucking punter, and, you know, made the ball travel a little differently. You know, stupid. But
you guys,
big game changer.
It was.
Yeah.
Just on that, just with the game changing and obviously back to the Super Bowl. Amazing. I enjoyed it. I know you guys enjoyed it. What was your thoughts, and did you guys watch the halftime show with Usher?
I did.
Did you watch it?
What about you,
James?
did.
I'd say is in regards to.
Well, James, you weren't sure because you were
cooking, whipping it up.
I sat down, I think 6 minutes or 4 minutes
just
left
started
in the
eating
second.
The tacos.
Yeah.
Nice. Perfect.
I fucked up, dude. I was over ambitious on my Super Bowl party fucking food, and I was a little late to the game on it, so that was my bad. But it came out really
Usher,
good.
though, one, he hasn't came out with something in a minute, so you know, like all of the songs that are hot were like hot in like fucking the early mid 2000s. I feel like that could be incorrect, but the one thing I will say is that dude he's got some good dance moves. Like, he can dance. He's like choreography, like fuck, dude. He's he's legit. And I was looking at like a lot of the choreography that they do, and like, damn, you know, I was thinking back, I think a couple of Super Bowls ago, and like the weekend. Like I just don't think that the weekend really
was interesting.
Like moved like that. Like
That was
Usher,
bad.
Yeah. You look at what Usher can do, and you know he's got some big songs with some really big people, and you know back in the day. So I think that they put on a good performance. You know, I haven't heard an Usher song in like.
To your point, Kenny. To your point. He's got the moves. Great show. And then when he came out on the skates and started dancing on roller skates, that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was.
And you know he's got to be like 45 years old. How old is Usher now? You know he's got to be.
Looks like Johnny's looking it up.
I'm surprised none of our prop bets had him taking his shirt off. I mean, that was a given. We knew it, but still.
He's not 25 anymore, James.
No. Are you kidding me? I wish I looked like him at fucking 45. I'll tell you what.
We put our shirts off against his. He's kicking our ass.
Yeah, come on, Kenny.
He's in good shape. That's what I'm saying that. I agree. You know, he comes out, he's dancing his shit ton. Like, he's got some good moves. Like, good for Usher.
He was sweating.
Oh, dude.
The lights, it was glistening.
Before the first wardrobe change, man, his face was drenched.
Crushing it.
But let me tell you, he came out and he represented for ATL, man. He brought the band out there, and then that was legit. It looked cool. Although I will say this, difference between Pepsi halftime show and Apple halftime show. You can tell it's Apple cinematic like viewership, like the way the camera is and the angles of the camera. It's very in your face. It almost felt like what's the guy's name now? Tim Cook? Is that the new the CEO? When they do their product stuff that they do, it's like the way the camera kind of comes in, all cinematic and on the guy's face. There was so much shit going on in the field that we never got to fucking see.
Yeah,
I remember when Little John got fucking introduced and he was doing Turbulence, and all the people were around him. You couldn't really understand what was going on. There's a fucking guy doing a backflip behind him that you probably just barely caught off camera. You had no fucking clue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was annoyed by the camera fucking shit, but I thought the overall halftime show was great. I think nostalgia is in right now, and they definitely are hitting that with the halftime shows lately. I mean, you know, look at Dr. Dre and all them. That was big. So... But I think on the other side, too, I think he dropped an album literally that night. So it was kind of there's definitely some marketing going on there.
Platform.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Usher's dropping a new album, right? That's what I heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I listened, like you kind of said, though, nostalgia. Anybody who was in like middle school, high school during the time when all of his music was back to back, like him singing "Burn," "You Got It Bad," "Confessions," like, dude, those are just bringing up great memories. Like, oh, I knew what I was doing during those songs when they released. Like, good times. I enjoyed it, honestly. Like, it was probably one of my favorite in the last couple of years. I'm like, hey, I'm also thinking in my head, all the times they've showed Taylor Swift, I would have loved to see her rocking out while Usher was crushing it on stage. That would have been pretty cool, but they didn't. But I don't know. I loved it. It was fire.
It was good.
Yeah.
That would have been the proper time to show her and really get her some good screen time, media companies. But yeah, Johnny, you talked about what were we doing when those songs were coming out, man. We were all at the middle school dance parties, girls on the left side, boys on the right side, no one crossing over. It did take us back. Little good times.
Going through a breakup, singing a song,
We did most of us, I think, participated in one of our friends ran a props pick, basically. And one of them was, what was Usher's opening song going to be? Mm-hmm. And my wife, Morgan, picked Burn. And the person running, our friend Tim Meyer, basically texted us saying, do you think he's going to come out with like a love sad song to open up the Super Bowl? Like, it was just hysterical. But his range that he went to, like you said, John, he hit on a little bit of everything. Which is awesome. He was crushing the number of songs. I mean, it was 15 seconds, 20 seconds. He was into another one. So, great performance.
It was very cool. I liked it. Yeah. Choreography was great, too. Mm-hmm. It's cool that surreal, though, for him, I bet, just having that show for, 2 years in Vegas and then getting to perform the Super Bowl halftime show, which I feel like when it comes to, like, artists, and like musicians, like that's a pretty big bucket list for them to say like they got to perform at the Super Bowl. Which is awesome. It's crazy just to say like, hey, a platform that's built around football has now created so many different angles and avenues to like present and push out other things. And the Super Bowl halftime show being that, I mean, freaking Apple. I can't imagine how much Apple pays just to be the sponsor of that, right?
So much. Welcome to Hot Takes, where we talk about debatable topics. Today's debatable topic is wide receiver a harder position than defensive back? Ryan, let's kick it off with you. What is your opinion on this?
Yes, obviously.
Defensive back, without a doubt, is a harder position.
100% agree with you, Johnny. Defensive back's harder.
Being a defensive back, I think a defensive back is a harder position than.
How does it feel, Ryan, to be the defensive back in this? You're on the island.
This is easy. I eat defensive backs for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Route them up, cook them up, uncoverable, baby. With 2 good knees. 1 good knee. This could be a 1 good knee situation.
Yeah, tune into our next podcast after this one. You'll hear about that stuff. Ryan should have been in the fucking NFL.
That's right.
Says all of us.
It's just, as a wide receiver, it is great to see that no matter what level of football, that defensive backs, they still can't judge. They can't. I mean, there was the deep pass to Hardman. You got the DB, the ball's behind him. It's just I take a lot of joy in that scene as a receiver because, they try to compare. I remember there was a debate. Sherman was talking to Michael Irvin how DB is harder to play than receiver. Absolutely. It's nice to see that validation on the biggest stage.
So wait, you're saying that DB is not harder to play than receiver? That's what you're saying?
Absolutely not, because how many DBs are converted wide receivers because they can't play the position?
You know where you're going.
You're literally proving against your own point right now.
They can't catch the ball. They can't play the position. Playing receiver is harder.
Right.
No way. A DB
ball
is
awareness.
Harder. You're trying to figure out, and you have to stick on someone's hip like glue. Yes. What are you talking about? Not only do you have one job as a receiver, it's to fucking run your route and catch the ball. As a DB, you have to make
two jobs.
Okay.
2 jobs.
Okay, 2 jobs. Run the route, catch the ball. That's it. As a DB, you have to also match running that route. You have to catch the ball as an interception or block it.
No, you do not.
Yes, you do. You have to catch or block the ball.
You don't have to catch it. All you have to do is
He
block.
said catch or block. You got to make a football play.
Catch or block the ball. Interceptions are a thing in the NFL. And in 3, you have to tackle. So you have 3 jobs.
And you have to watch for the run, too. You got to watch the quarterback's eyes, the whole
DBs
play
have
unfold.
one job. Your job as a DB is to follow the man in front of you.
No chance, dude.
No, it's not.
Then fucking McCaffrey would have won the whole game. It would have been a fucking slaughter. He would have just ran all up and down.
DBs are paid to follow their guy and lock down the
That's
receiver.
not the truth, because how many times...
Receiver is a much
What about
harder-
zone coverage?
What about, like, let's just look at someone like... what's his name? What's his name as a safety from... Like Troy Polamalu, right? Troy Polamalu was the key of using a DB as a person that probably had more sacks than probably half of the linebackers in the league during his time. I mean, he's a DB that was used for multi-purposes. He had tackles fucking 30 yards on the field, and he had sacks fucking 10 yards deep. So
he had some nice fucking hair,
what do you,
too.
What do you
while
say
doing
about
it.
someone like that?
And
Because he had
interceptions.
I say that you...
He's the perfect example of a D-back that was used for more than just running after a fucking guy. It's not, that's...
Every top team,
Stupid.
every top contender has a top pass catcher. Whether it's tight end or receiver, it is more difficult to play than defensive back, which is why if you can't play that position, you go play defensive back.
That's so false.
Because you can't cut it. You can't
Johnny,
make it on our
Johnny,
football.
please weigh in
Do you
here.
know how many,
I'm tired of hearing myself and
receivers?
Kenny talk about
Ryan,
this.
I would love for you to fucking try to tackle me.
Bring it on. I'll just chop your legs.
Yo,
Just don't hit with your
Big dog.
Don't hit with your head,
Too
Ryan.
cold.
That's an
You
episode
two
to
go
come out
down.
later.
You're trying to say a receiver? I would say at least 70% of receivers in the league right now do not have the capability to tackle like a defensive back. No way.
DBs barely tackle. They avoid contact most of the time. If they go to tackle, they can chop at legs.
They have to tackle.
DBs and receivers are one and the same, except DBs can't catch.
False. Yeah. All right. So here, I'll give it to you. They do have difficulties catching sometimes, but I definitely do not agree with your statement that they don't tackle. Do you know how many times a corner or a safety? I would remember yesterday there was vividly one play where a safety came down and was the only person to make the fucking tackle in a huge. It was like a 3rd and 10. The safety came down and nailed this dude on a fucking 2-yard line to save the first down. I just don't agree, because I specifically. Only thing that I think.
Guess what? You also played DB, motherfucker.
Yeah, because
So of
the
course you're gonna
only
side
thing
with
that
the
I had to
DBs.
offer was that I
'Cause
was
you couldn't
willing
hack it.
to fucking tackle. No, because I didn't want my primary job to be to catch a ball. I wanted my primary
what?
job to tackle the fucking person with the ball. And that's
Kenny,
why
I
I
will
debate
agree
that
with
I
you.
can
Your
tackle and you
primary-
can't. And can you catch better? Yeah.
Kenny, your primary role was to absolutely only tackle. You know why? Because you couldn't cover worth of shit. So yes, I will give it to you. You were designated to just tackle.
Jeez.
We never went up against each other, but I guarantee.
Oh,
Dude, I'm
we
sorry.
did.
I'm sorry. Unless Johnny wants to fucking jump in here, the DB position is incrementally harder than a receiver, primarily because they have to read body language to cover
I gotta
somebody.
keep up with you.
I can try to fake you out all day long, but the real athlete, if we're talking about athleticism, well, actually, they're both very good athletes. I can't really say that. But to be able to watch hips and not get sucked in for the inside move and then go outside. I mean, I saw Kelsey do that like 15 times last night, and he was crushing it because it's hard because he had a route. He knew exactly where he was going. This DB has no fucking clue where they're going. Yes, they're supposed to stay in front of the person, but that's definitely a harder task than to try to run a route, get open, and catch the ball. They have to flip their hips around. They've got to be reading the quarterback. Their eyes have to be heads on a swivel. I mean, it is not an easy position at all.
And receivers are the same thing. Your head has to be on a swivel. If you're trying to find a spot,
you have one swivel.
You don't get your head taken.
Find the fucking ball.
The corner's running backwards. You're running forward.
No.
Yeah, that's another point. They are going backwards, Ryan. What the fuck?
Then why aren't they starting at DB? And if they can't make it at DB, switching to receiver?
Because they're just a bigger fucking receiver.
Ryan.
A receiver on average.
Kenny, let Johnny speak.
Let me call Michael Irvin up,
let Johnny speak.
and we'll crush it.
Kenny, let Johnny speak.
Listen, I agree with Kenny and Ken, so I'm just going to be the third person that just crushes you, Ryan. All right, I get where you're.
Bring it on.
I get where you're coming from the sake of receiver can catch and judge the ball. Like, yes, that is why they're playing receiver. That is why they're actually in the receiver position. DBs are notorious for losing the ball. We saw it last night. Literally, that guy was in perfect position, catch the ball, turns his head the wrong way, bada bing, bada boom, 40, 50-yard freaking catch and throw. But for you to say that someone who's in a position where they have to cover the entire field that has no idea what the person in front of them is going to do is less or better of an athlete is insane. That's it. Like, the DB is the hardest and most critical position on the field outside of the quarterback.
Is your only point of you saying that they're better because they can catch a ball better? That's your whole?
I think the roles are very equivalent. It's similar type of athletes, right? Like you said, head on a swivel, ball awareness. Like, the difference is catching the ball versus not. Yes, receivers block, DBs tackle. So there's the physicality aspect of it.
You're just wrong.
I can't wait for you to get crushed in the fucking comments.
You're wrong. It's okay though.
I'm tagging Michael Irvin to come to my rescue on this one.
Hey, my alma mater.
Here we go.
Listen, that's great. Michael Irvin is great. Deion Sanders played both. He says defensive back is the hardest position. And he was really good at both.
And I would also debate that 90% of the time, the reason they can't catch the ball is because the receiver's expecting the ball the entire time. The DB has
no.
DBs just cannot judge a ball. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the ones that can judge a ball are very, very
You don't know
good.
the ball is coming until it's 80% there most of the time. And again, your back is to the fucking quarterback, and it's tough.
Not if you're in zone and you're sitting there and
I will make this one point about DBs, though. There's nothing worse than when a DB goes locked down and the fucking ball was just sailing over the receiver. Like, there was no, just fucking locked down. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they did nothing. It does bother me. As an innocent bystander, I'm a kicker. I've played both positions growing up, but let me tell you, that is just you did nothing there. The ball was not even close. You made no play. I mean, yeah, you might have kept them even in the areas where the receiver clearly beat him too. They still do the lockdown because the ball was overthrown or something like that.
It's so right though. It is. That's pretty funny.
That's a whole nother debate. It's just celebrations in it's a blowout and people are still celebrating and stuff. It's out of control. So that's a whole nother topic.
Well, I think another debate, and the worst thing for me from a DB perspective is the amount of receivers that get up, pass interference. Dude, every fucking play it's not a pass interference. Just because there's an insane, I would say there's an insane increase on the amount of fucking receivers that want that pass interference call because they just can't catch the fucking ball or can't create separation when they run the route, and they can't do their fucking job, so they need a flag to cover their ass.
Dude, I can't stand.
I don't disagree on that.
I can't stand how much Patrick Mahomes fucking points for flags. That drives me insane too. Sorry to cut you off, Ryan.
Receivers will own it. We are pretty Madonnas. We own that, and yes, it's too much. Everyone's looking for a flag instead of playing through the play. 100% like that. You've seen way too much of that in today's game.
But go
finish the play. If there's a flag, there's a flag.
Thank goodness
go try to make a play.
the Super Bowl was called fairly, though.
Yeah, I would say that there was not many fucking penalties.
No, it was.
They let the players play. It was great.
It was even.
Very well called. Even you can't say there was a defining moment where a flag cost the game, which you don't really see that often, which I think was great. And it was on the biggest and brightest moment, and that happened to be the Super Bowl. So that was good.
They let them play.
Good job, refs.
Yeah, that was really good.
Pay them full time. Goodell, pay them full time.
There was a lot of, the Swifties, the Kelseys, the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of people were favoring that with the refs, but it was called very well.
Yeah.
There was a couple of plays, though, where I felt like they shorted the Chiefs on like a potential first down, but outside of
tough spots.
Yeah, tough spots, but very well called. Good job, refs.
And I think we can call this one DB's a harder position than receivers. I think that's where we ended up on
3-1. 3-1.
It's in the bag.
Receivers.
You lost, dude.
Ain't no way.
We'll have to do a mock combine. Better start training, Ryan.
This is why Kenny and fucking Ryan do one-on-ones for like an hour.
Let's go, Ken. We'll go one-on-one. Put some pads on. I'll try to tackle Kenny. Kenny try to cover me. And we'll both pull our hamstrings in the process.
I'll throw the ball and James will be the ref. We'll forget the
Hey, if you guys recall Johnny and Ryan, I wasn't too half bad playing DB and flag football.
That is true.
Now Gonzo was fucking legit. He had a lot of interceptions. But
going back to our flag football experience, James, weren't you the center? Weren't you hiking with the Johnny?
No, that was Adam, dude.
Adam was the center. James was running streak routes.
Dude, I was running routes.
I thought there was a year you were playing center.
No. If Adam was playing, Adam was center. If Adam wasn't playing, then yeah, I guess I would step into that role. That was easy, but
I'm thinking one of the Logan at tournaments. All right.
No, even then. You know what? Actually, you might have a point because Adam played on a different team. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. DB's a harder position. Period. Done. End of story.
No
walk
fucking
away.
chance.
Fuck you.
Wide receiver, you.
All right, that was the last comment. We're good. Super Bowl was awesome. DBs are better. And that's it.
Fuck DBs. That's a great segue, Johnny. You talk about amount of money being paid for sponsorship. What about the commercials? What did we think on this year's commercials? I will for one say Temu. No idea what it was, but they showed that commercial 4 or 5 fucking times. I was tired of seeing it by the end of the game.
I think their marketing efforts work.
I guess Ryan. I gotta go Google what the hell Temu is because it caught my attention. My goodness.
Yeah.
You got this guy saying it. Might have worked.
What'd you guys think of it? Of just the commercials overall?
I think the commercials. Go ahead, Jim.
I'll make my answer quick. I don't remember a fucking single one. Done.
Did not
carry on.
Oh my gosh.
7 million is not a lot of money.
I think that they're good. I think that the commercials are growing more. I would say the importance of commercials having celebrities and specifically A-list celebrities inside of those commercials is growing more and more, right? Like it's the battle of how many celebrities you can bundle into a commercial. For instance, like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, right? It has J-Lo, it has Brady, it has Ben Affleck. Like there's more too. Like it's about how much you can bundle, and then at the end of it, you're like, oh yeah, you remember that J-Lo, Ben Affleck, kind of commercial, right? So I think that it's kind of like you see it's maybe right, that cost of that sponsorship is like, or that commercial itself is 7 million, but how much is the production of that commercial on top of that with 5-6 A-list celebrities that are throwing a lot of all of their time into that commercial, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's becoming more and more expensive for the companies. But I remembered that Dunkin' Donuts commercial. I think that's one commercial that I remember. I don't know if you guys saw it too, because commercials nowadays are changing. And I'm in this market a little bit too, and it's interesting that like I saw probably 30% of the commercials I saw were local commercials, right? So you have your national grade commercials and you have your local commercials that are going to be consuming different spots. So I think they have to, on a Super Bowl perspective, they have to keep national grade commercials that everyone's seeing because it has to resonate with people that are across the country. So they have to keep that national commercial base, where on regular TV, a lot of the commercials that I'm seeing is not the commercials that you guys are seeing because we're in different spots. And commercials are becoming more isolated to particular regions. So it's interesting, and that's also why you're paying a lot more. But yeah, I think that it's just a battle of A-list celebrities and bundling it together to build the best commercials. So they're becoming more expensive, and they're not going to ever get any cheaper. It's just going to continue to build.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Good point.
Do you think they're just trying too hard? Like before, it just came so naturally, and that's why it was like a national phenomenon with the Super Bowl commercials being hilarious and really good. And now they're just trying to emulate that, and they try too hard, and they just miss. I mean, a couple hit, but you're just hoping that you had the right humor that people wanted to see and caught everyone off guard, or you had the most celebrities, whatever.
I think you said it, James. It's the right humor. And what is that in today's world? You know, what is that? What is that fine line of humor? You know, comedians deal with that right now. What they say, what they can't say. Definitely.
And these brands are trying to keep an image too, so it's tough for them.
They're trying, right? Which before, 20 years ago, they were some hysterical commercials that if you did it now, you probably would be canceled for, which is unfortunate. But you got to toe that line. I will.
Never mind. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say, Kenny, I don't know if you need celebrities. Because I think you just need nostalgia. Because for me, the Paramount Plus commercial, when they threw Hey Arnold as a football head, was fucking hysterical.
I didn't see
it. Was great.
That was my favorite. And then there was Pluto TV. That and Paramount Plus took the cake for me. Pluto TV was just the whole growing a couch potato. I mean, perfect conception of what we're dealing with today. So those were two call-outs. And I don't think those had celebrities either. But overall, yes.
What network did you watch the Super Bowl?
What?
I didn't see those commercials. I watched it.
I think we were on YouTube TV.
Well, that's another.
I watched on Paramount Plus.
Really? I just watched on CBS.
I was thinking you saw the Paramount commercial because you were on Paramount, but I don't know, Ryan. Maybe I just missed the commercial.
That one actually got released early during the week, which is a whole other thing that some of the commercials come out, or like you have the trailers for them, the setups that come out during the week.
There was I forget what brand did it. They did it really well. And I think Coors Light might have done this before, but you've seen in the past where brands tee up their Super Bowl commercial with commercials that they run nationally before, right? And then it's kind of like a part one, part two, or like it somehow coincides, which is pretty cool. I actually like when that happens because then you're like kind of the suspense is building. I mean, obviously, it just adds to their massive budget because now they're running national commercials 30 days out before the Super Bowl hits, and they're fronting that budget. So it's just probably 10 times more expensive. But, yeah, I've seen that done too, and that's worked well for brands.
I saw the Coors Light. There was a Coors Light commercial that was pretty good. I know Bud Light had a commercial. I'm going to be very disappointed. I hope I just missed it. Did Budweiser and the Clydesdale not have a commercial?
I was going to ask that question too, Johnny. I don't think they had one in the last couple of Super Bowls.
I thought the Clydesdale, it was about doing things the old school. I thought there was a Clydesdale commercial with the horse and buggy.
What was it? I don't remember it. That's the only thing.
I thought if there was only one. If there was.
Well, we talk about.
I put Doritos in the same category.
Yeah, those Doritos and Budweiser.
I don't think I saw a Doritos commercial.
Are the two?
I used to love the Doritos commercials.
Why's that? That was always a good one too. Yeah, I mean, but also like, you think about commercials, and it's like, is it worth these companies spending all this money of a top dollar to put something out there for 30 seconds? And like, I wonder if the presence and people actually looking at the TV screen after like the game goes to a commercial break is like factored in their decision making, because like you can now just go to your phone and go on Facebook or go on Twitter or go on any social media just to start scrolling, which we know is like a new way of this life in this era. So I don't know. It's very unique. I always love the commercials, but every year they're just not the same.
So Johnny, I looked it up real quick. The Budweiser Clydesdale was in this. They had a 60-second spot, but they weren't around. They sat out 2021 through 2023 Super Bowls. So they were out for the last 3 years. This is their first time coming back.
Okay, good. I got to watch it.
They had a pretty aggressive one. I felt like it was like the train, and I think it was like LL Cool J or something was like driving the train.
Of course, yeah.
And then they like blew past like the typical Corona commercial where you see like two people with a bucket of Corona sitting on the beach, but the train like blew past them, which I thought was pretty funny because it was like pretty competitive there. So I like to see that competitive nature. I thought that was good.
That was good. Yeah.
That's the only call out, Kenny, I remember. I don't remember if they took a shot, quote unquote, at any other beer companies outside of the Corona on the beach. Like that moment sticks in where they kind of blow past and hand them a Coors. That was a good one too.
But I like to see that competitiveness. It's good. It's funny. Next year, Corona's got to come back with something.
If we could, maybe we can come back to the Super Bowl game, the actual football. We've done a lot of talking about the Chiefs. I'm just interested to hear you guys' takes on the 49ers and where they're going to be going from here. Because, I mean, Brock Purdy does good. You know, I thought he played a great game, actually. Doesn't have the big arm. He's kind of small. And in the big moments, it's pretty easy. And I think teams are catching on what they need to do from the defensive side. And that's just get after him, try to hit him. And it's harder for him to make the plays. Does he get paid? What do you guys think?
They have money problems.
They have, I think they have, there's some salary cap stuff coming up with the 49ers.
They just have money.
I don't think he's up for a contract yet. I could be wrong on that, but I think they've got at least one, maybe 2 more years on him on that Mr. Irrelevant rookie salary. But there's no reason for, he's their quarterback moving forward. He's taken them to an NFC Championship game and got hurt. Then he took them to a Super Bowl that went to overtime. It's just going to come down to, as it is with a lot of these teams, can they pay everybody? A lot of times they can't. So who are you going to have to let go? Right now they're in that position where you've got the quarterback on a cheap deal. You've seen a lot of teams with that strategy win a championship because you can pay all the other players while the quarterback's playing above their contract. So it's just going to be who are they going to have to lose? Who are they going to have to let go after this run? We'll see. But, they have McCaffrey. They've got Debo. It's probably going to be on the defensive side of the ball, which is usually happens. Like, can they pay Young? Can they pay Bosa? Can they keep Warner? You got a lot of studs on that defense, and you're probably going to lose a couple to free agency.
Yeah, you said it perfectly.
I just think it's funny because a lot of people were comparing Brock Purdy to Eli Manning, trying to take down Tom Brady, the Patriots, which is why I wore this jersey specifically.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, big plays, man. You need big plays in these types of games, and the throw didn't happen.
He missed. He missed one in the end zone. He got whacked.
Yeah, he did get whacked.
I think it was to Debo that was open. That's the only one I really recall him missing. Bad.
I don't think it happens.
Otherwise, I thought he played a clean game.
I don't think it happens on either side of the ball, though. I mean, there was one catch specifically that I think Mahomes had or one throw specifically that I think Mahomes had that was a big throw. I don't really think there was many 30-plus yard throws in the game.
Well, I was more saying Purdy being Eli, like that comparison to where the other side of it too is you don't give Tom Brady the ball to end the fucking game, and they gave Tom Brady the ball at the end of the game. I mean, you can't let fucking Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna fucking score, and at a minimum, he's gonna get the ball through the fucking field goal post. But
and then the problem is too.
I know, Ryan.
Bucker would put it through the field goal.
He's going to get it in field goal range. You understand where I was going with that comment. Fucking asshole.
I love hearing James talk football.
I think one of the biggest problems with when you think Mahomes is gonna throw a deep pass or gonna really extend his arm, and then he just runs it. It's just like the defense, from a defensive back perspective, it's just like
keep coming back to the Chiefs.
It's such a because you didn't see Purdy.
It's the worst, man.
They
didn't lose, right?
How many rushing
we're going to talk about the winners.
Did Purdy have? I don't know, but it wasn't much.
You're right, Kenny, because they said how Purdy probably needed to have 50 plus rushing yards. Just make an impact with his legs as well as his arms.
But does he ever?
And he did it.
I don't know.
He had to get there. He does. In the Lions game, it wasn't going offensively for them. He broke off a couple long runs. He's not the fastest, but he's had timely runs that have just in crucial moments moved the sticks, kept the drive going, and he didn't have that moment in this game, which definitely affected their offense.
I mean, the Niners got a little pass happy in the second half too. I mean, they were running the ball pretty well with McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey was doing some good shit, and then they all of a sudden got pass happy. It was weird. It didn't work out for them. But which kind of leads into the coaching, and I'm pretty sure that this head coach is cursed with the Super Bowl and overtime.
Brock Purdy had 12 rushing yards. That's it.
Ouch.
That's right. He had over 10.
I mean, they were coming after his ass.
Yeah. James, you said it great. I don't know why they stopped running the ball. I feel like Tony Romo, every single drive when the 49ers were on offense, keep running the ball, and they would throw it, and they would throw it, and they would throw it. I don't know. Kyle Shanahan is clearly a good coach. Again, there are some decisions where it was just like, why? Like, what are you doing? Do what you do best and run the freaking ball. I also think that hell of a trick play was great. I don't know. I feel like you could have used that a little bit later, but they scored. You're never obviously going to ever want to change that. You scored. It worked. But I don't know, man. I really thought the 49ers could pull it out. But again, never questioning Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
How about that call to make a timeout on the defense because he didn't like how the setup was?
Yep.
Instead of trusting his DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes back to the whole coaching discussion we were having earlier. Shanahan has been now to 3 Super Bowls. He's lost all of them, but he's a good coach. But that is absolutely hanging over his head now. That
can he win the big one?
He's had players that entire time, so that's going to be his. You said it, James. He's cursed. That's going to be his curse to now break. The rest of his coach. It's not going to matter how well they do in the regular season. It's not going to matter. Like, if they win a playoff game, it is Super Bowl or bust every year for a Kyle Shanahan-led team.
That sounds familiar, right, Johnny?
All right, well, to be fair, the 49ers are already favored to win the Super Bowl, according to Vegas, as of this morning.
Jesus.
The
lines come out second after the game ends. The lines are out.
$100 in that. What do you win?
It's like you don't even know what the team's going to look like next year. They haven't even done the draft.
Put it on the Chiefs. See the Chiefs odds.
Literally,
I think the Chiefs were second.
That's probably I would say the 49ers have probably the most likelihood of having a big change up in their team because they have just so many unknowns. Out of any team, I would be most nervous on what that team looks like going into the season next year because there's just so many issues that they're going to face with the financials.
Kenny, to answer your question, what are the odds? If you put $100 on the 49ers right now, you'd win $600.
That's not enough.
If I had 1,000, if I add another zero to it, make it 6,000.
With that unknown, it's like.
Well, they are the
Johnny, Dallas Cowboys plus 1,600, big dog. Come on.
We'll do it right now. 1,700. Here we go.
I don't feel confident on that.
No. Indianapolis plus 5,000. Here we go.
The Jets with Aaron Rodgers coming in.
The Jets are at plus 3,000.
The Giants, baby. What are we looking at for the New York? Plus 15,000.
Plus
$100 will make you $15,000.
Let's just put $400
bet.
on it right now.
Oh my God!
Right now. The likelihood.
$400.
Goodness.
I ain't going
gracious.
$400 would be $60,000.
Can you imagine hitting that just because of a stupid, like, I mean, it's not going to happen, but that would be.
Kenny, that's why we love gambling, baby. We got a chance. We could be rich.
Yeah, no, but that's just like statistically. Come on, that's just. That's literally.
We're not doing it on the Giants.
No. $400.
Give me the Jets.
The Jets are more likely.
Anyone can strike goal. Giants.
Well, I think we can all agree. At least it was a good football game to watch, right? It was exciting.
Yeah, it was great.
The ending was great.
Yeah, there's nothing better than professionals at the NFL level. They got one game left. They got nothing to lose. Fighting, clawing, running around the field at the fastest speed, and just those warriors just hitting. Like, you heard the smacking, which is great. You don't see that every Sunday, unfortunately, because of the obvious, but there's nothing better.
Yeah, I mean, that was textbook American football.
Yeah.
Can't get any better than that.
Yep.
Outside of really, I think it was the Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl when we were in college. I can't really recall another Super Bowl that wasn't down to the wire, competitive all the way through. Like, that was the anomaly where the Seahawks just jumped out super early. But other than that, yeah, every year consistently, like you said, Johnny, last game of the year, it is down to the wire. It's edge of your seat, which is why people love it. So that's awesome. But on kind of a side note, with just a lot of hard hitting, couple injuries, but one I know we're all probably thinking about is Greenlaw and tearing his reported potential Achilles tear. I mean, that is just heartbreaking with running on the field in the biggest game. Just tough situation overall. What are your thoughts there?
I feel,
James, did you even see it?
I feel for the guy.
Okay.
That is probably
I saw
the most demoralizing thing you could go through as a professional athlete, to get hurt while you're on the sideline. You're about to go out for a drive, and to be jumping and just be hyped in the heat of the moment. You're just getting out there and you did nothing wrong, and for whatever reason, you just
popped,
tear your Achilles heel. Like, I don't understand. And the craziest thing and the saddest part is we continue to see fluke accidents like this happen more and more. And it's just, I really feel for him. Like, that's.
He's gone for the entire year too. It's not just that one game. It's not just missing out on that moment, because who knows? He's a great player for them. He's in there. Does he change the game? Maybe. But now he not only misses that, he misses the entire season. Tough.
I'll tell you who he's reaching out to. He's probably reaching out to Aaron Rodgers' doctor.
Oh,
yes, he is.
I think that works.
Did Cousins go to the Rodgers route, or did Kirk Cousins go I feel like Kirk Cousins went the traditional route, so he is going to be out for extended time.
Sucks.
I don't know. I don't think they went the same route, but yeah, Aaron, his turnaround is insane.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, before we head out, I want to do one more thing. I'm going to go around. Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl next year based on what you know from performance this year? James, kick it off.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
With
the least football knowledge. You're awesome, dude. I don't know. I think I'm going to go from left field here. And I hate to say this. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I'll go with Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to make a run next year.
Okay. All right.
So I think they're going to come back hungry, and I think
Kenny's guy, Lamar.
Yeah, I think Lamar put a lot on his shoulders, and I think he needs to get in the offseason, work on. I think he knows what he needs to do. I think he's got a solid team. I don't see many team shifts happening there. We'll see.
I think Lamar saw the Bender Continues podcast and is going to say, fuck that guy Kenny. He's going to say,
get out of here.
Step it up. Ryan, what do you think?
Move on.
One team.
The Indian.
Oh my God.
I'd love to see history made. We set
Ryan's
it up
gonna
a
do
couple
a half
times.
switch.
You can't bet.
It's like high school.
You can't bet against Mahomes. I think the Chiefs go for 3. I think they win it. Kelsey retires.
Damn, they're gonna make history, huh?
Set up, so it's gonna be ugly. It's that like maybe they get in there crawling. It's a long season. They've been good.
They got a good defense.
Games, why not go? You can't go against history. So let's see a 3-peat next year.
John.
It's the year,
Don't
boys.
say the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the
Don't
year.
say it.
No fucking
It's the year.
shot.
No.
Dallas
I was gonna
Cowboys.
say that honestly to you, Johnny. I out of nowhere. I feel like Dallas might fucking surprise us all. I don't know, but
Someone call Stephen A. right now. This is the problem.
This is the year. Dallas Cowboys.
Isn't every year the year?
Hold on.
Every year.
After
every
your
year
rants
the
last
year.
time, you're gonna then do the
As Lamar
Cowboys.
Jackson saw Kenny go off on the TBC freaking network here. John Straw, Jerry Jones is going to see me very passionate as well. However, market, I'm going with 2 different teams for the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills versus Dallas Cowboys.
oh, Buffalo. I forgot about Buffalo.
I'm going to go Buffalo.
That's a
Bills.
solid pick, though.
I'm going to go Buffalo Bills to win it.
You actually, you stole mine. I'm always hoping, and you guys can kind of tell by my fantasy football draft year after year. I'm always going for a good Josh Allen Super Bowl. I'm a Jets fan. I like to say that Rodgers comes in, sweeps everybody off their feet, and they just run to the sunlight and get a Super Bowl and close it out, and Rodgers retires. But that's just not going to happen. But I do think that Josh Allen, at any year, he's right on the cusp of being able to turn that over. I think it just comes out to being having a little bit better performance in the playoffs. I think that's what usually comes down to their lack of getting into the Super Bowl. In season, I think that they, for the most part, pull it out. So, but I love to see his performance in the Super Bowl. But
All right, we all got different teams.
You never know. We'll see. But until then,
Bender
Bender
continues.
continues.
Bender continues.